Hi folks, today we're here with Kevin Rush at Pro Reel Service. As I told you, I was going to send these reels in to Kevin and have him check out the Piscifun Phantom. I've got I've had two for over a year, used them for a season. Brought those, and I brought two brand new ones, and we're going to find out from Kevin what he found when he looked at them to see how they stood up to a season. Kevin?
Well, we started with your old ones. I've got a new one here. But we started with your old ones, and compared to the new ones, 1 year of use, nothing detrimental. Your gears were still in good shape. The bearings were all still in good shape. No corrosion. We were able to do a basic clean and tune service, and they're right back to as good as the brand new one.
That's awesome. So we was talking before we started filming about this is a regular $69 reel, $59 most of the time on sale, and I got the first two for $54 because it was a $5 coupon when I got there to buy them. So for $69, 5.7 ounces. What's your opinion on the quality of the reel?
Very good, actually. I see a lot of different reels. I do service on all brands, so I get a lot of different reels throughout the year. And if I was to rate this against any sub $100 reel, I'd say it's the best I've seen. To get better quality, you're probably going to have to step up quite a bit in price range. And some of the things that you would maybe get a little bit better would be a little tighter fit of some areas. I don't know if you can notice that some of the gaps in the seams, they're not tight, but it's a $59 reel. And it makes up for it in other areas. One of the, get this open here, this is a dual brake reel, meaning the dial on the outside controls magnets on the inside. Magnetic braking is going to work best at the start of a cast. It's really good for pitching, slow casts, and it also works right at the end of a cast where sometimes, maybe you've taken your thumb off and whoops, you get a few loops. Magnetic braking works for that the best. But it also has friction braking, which a lot of people might not realize. This is dual brake. There's a second set of adjustments on the inside. It's a centrifugal friction brake, adjustable from 0 to 6. And what that adjusts is at 0, none of these tabs are going to swing out and rub on the inside of that ring. You're only going to have the magnetic brakes. At 3 of those tabs can swing out. So you're going to set that at what you think you want it, based on what you're fishing, the size lures, things like that, and then you're going to fine tune with your magnet. This is one of the most advanced dual brake reels I have seen. Your average one is going to have tiny little brake tabs that just don't work very well. As you can see, this one's got quite big ones that they flip out to the side. They work really nice. I have not seen this quality of a braking system on anything less than a $300 or $400 reel recently.
Nice. So what about the length of that handle? I believe it's a little longer than most of the others in this category, until the newest ones coming out are a little bit longer now. At least I found it to be. I think if we matched it up to something,
do we have something there we can match it up to? Because it appears to be in the 80 to 90 millimeter range, but
I guess it looks to be.
But it is a little bit bigger. This is probably an 80, and this was like an 85. But
yeah,
it is a carbon fiber handle. It's very light. It's got very good quality knobs, bearings inside. It's definitely not something you would expect to see on a $59, $60 price range reel.
All right, well, that's kind of what we was looking for. There was the 1-year-olds I've used in tournaments and fun fishing during the year. Really didn't look abused or beat up, even though they were thrown in the back of my truck and driven all the way around Kansas, from eastern Kansas back over here to mid Kansas. They traveled in dusty, nasty, dirty. They got dropped in the boats. I abused them, knocked off some of the paint and rubbed off most of the exterior markings, but the reel itself was still working great.
They stood up remarkably well. I mean, with the use you're describing, I would have expected them to be in worse condition. Certain areas that guys usually neglect is the line guide and worm gear. If you allow dust to get built up in there and mixed with the grease, that's going to wear parts out, and yours didn't look wore out. They looked in good shape.
And that's another part. I did not clean those reels when I got them. I didn't do what I should have done and take out the packing grease, and I went from the box, put a little oil on them, and took them fishing. That's what I did. So I do recommend, if you get a good reel, that if you don't do it, that you need to send it to someone like Kevin and have them do the preset on that. Get that old grease off of there, get it set up, and before you start abusing it.
Absolutely, you can drastically improve the performance of a brand new reel by doing a pre-service, what we call just a flush and tune, where we're going to remove some of the thick greases that are there for long-term protection for the customer that's probably never going to service their own reel or have it serviced. Then maybe they want to leave that grease in there. However, grease on line guides, grease on worm gears attracts dust.
Yeah.
It then turns into basically a sanding paste that's going to wear those parts out. And if that's just lightly oiled, it's a lot easier to keep clean and take care of. Bearings, usually from the factory, are very excessively lubed. They're trying to get long-term protection out of them. If we flush that out, use better quality synthetic lubes that are thinner, you're going to get quite a bit of increased casting ability and still have at least a year to 2 years of protection before you need to touch it up or have us touch it up.
I do want to, I didn't get a chance to use this. I brought it over. What was your thoughts on their spinning reel?
It's a very nice quality reel. It's got bearings everywhere it would benefit it. A lot of spinning reels are going to have a bearing on one side of the main gear crankshaft and a bushing on the other. This one has bearings on both sides. A lot of them are only going to have bushings on the pinion gear through the spool shaft. This one has bearing support there. It's got bearings up in the actual spool rotor that helps keep the spool stabilized. It's got a bearing in the line roller. Now, some people would say, well, those bearings are more parts to corrode, so I wouldn't recommend this for saltwater use.
Right, absolutely.
You know, because with all those bearings, saltwater use, you're definitely going to have corrosion issues. But if you're going to take care of it, if you're going to have someone take care of it, you're getting a very smooth, very nice quality reel.
Now, I believe this one is regular 114. It was on sale, and then more deductions, or they put another percentage off. And I think I paid about $62 for that reel, if I remember right. It was on one of the, when I tested the reels, I posted it on the video.
I would rank this as comparing closest to probably a Quantum Smoke, and I believe that's a lot closer to a $200 reel,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very comparable.
The competitor I've got for this at the
Smoke.
house right now is the Fluger Patriarch. I've got 2 of the Patriarchs. So, and Patriarch is 7 ounces. I think this is 7/8, if I remember right. So there were, the smoothness wise, the Patriarch's prettier. I ain't gonna lie. But
This, in my opinion, is better quality than Patriarch.
wow.
This is very comparable to a Quantum Smoke
Mm-hmm.
or a few other higher end quantum spinning reels. Your Phantom is very comparable to a Quantum Smoke casting reel or a Quantum Code or a higher level Quantum KVD signature.
Mm-hmm.
The Tour Edition, the design, very, very similar.
Now I did see, I saw a YouTube where the guy, he had taken this apart and he was talking about pretty much what you said over here, that there were bearings on this instead of just a spacer. I don't know if you got that deep into that reel.
Yeah, and we can show you possibly in another video where we show a complete breakdown of it, but there's bearings everywhere that it can help. And you know, that can be, again, it can be a positive, it can be a negative. You don't want more bearings than you need, obviously.
Absolutely.
It's just another part that's going to need maintenance. But having bearings and handle knobs makes a reel more comfortable to use.
Absolutely.
And bearings in line guide areas, that can help stabilize the line guide and make it last longer. And it's basically, it's calling it a 7 bearing reel, and that's pretty similar to what most are going to be, of where it needs to be but not excessive. They didn't just like put a lot of bearings in it to put them
Just to say they're there, yeah.
right.
All right. Well, Kevin, I'd like to thank you for helping us look at these today. By the way, Kevin Pro Reel Service, I'll put his link in the description again. I've done that on all the reel videos. I've put his link in there. We're going to cut this video and we're going to do another one where Kevin's going to go through that new reel and show us what he does with a flush.